Most people think that running a roller rink's all about music, lights, and skates. But today, it is bitterly cold here, and it's about a plow truck, a parking lot, and some responsibility. Here's the part that you don't see on Instagram about owning a roller rink. Stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss it. Last night it got down to like -20 with the windshield here, and it is cold this morning. I plowed the rink quite a few times now. The roller rink it takes me probably 45 minutes to an hour to do the whole thing, including the edges and the corners, and it's taken me some time to get a feel for how the process works. And I've also plowed my office, and it takes less time because it's a smaller parking lot, but it takes a minute to figure out the most efficient way to push snow. If you've never plowed snow before and you've never really thought about it, it's more challenging than you would think, trying to find where to put the snow, especially when there's a lot. Now that we're here, I think I'm gonna plow the office. Well, I am officially done at the office. I plowed this morning there, and then I worked all morning. It is mid-afternoon, and now I'm headed to the rink to check on the lot. We didn't get a lot of snow last night, but we did get some, and I gotta make sure everything is all cleaned up for tonight. Seems to be a bit of an issue. It's an older plow truck, so there's some finicky things to it, but we'll get it figured out. The connection is not real great, so sometimes I got to fiddle around with it to make sure that everything's good. I got all of these replaced last week. They were all weathered and had a connection issue with that, so let's give this a try. And she works. Look at that. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. So the parking lot's not too bad today. I just plowed yesterday, but if the lot's not clear, people can't show up and enjoy our business. So this is one of the unglamorous parts of owning a roller rink. Now, I have in the past done a video in the back room of fixing and repairing rental skates. Also, not a real glamorous thing to do, but it's one of the necessities of things that need to be done to keep the roller rink running. So I just started plowing this season for the first time. I actually bought this truck. It's an older truck, but I just bought it to plow the rink, and it's been working pretty good for the most part. Had a few electrical issues, but it's an older truck and an older plow, so that's expected. So I bought it because I wanted to do some of this myself. The biggest issue we've had with plowing in the past is the timing. And obviously it's expensive. And from a business perspective, you wanna, make sure you're being wise about how your expenses are and where everything is going. And getting a lot plowed is pretty expensive these days, which is fine because it needs to be done, because if the lot's not plowed, people won't show up. But by utilizing a plow truck that we own, we save some in expenses, and we also, the biggest issue is the timing. So for a plow company, if you're not familiar, in Michigan, when it snows a lot, a plow company comes through. They usually come through at night, and the reason why is because that's when nobody's in the parking lots. So if they come through in the evening, even really early in the morning, like let's say the plow company comes and plows our lot at make sure it's the last lot that they do. So they're done by 8 o'clock. Then it snows all day long. Most businesses open at 8 a.m. Ours does not. Ours doesn't open until the evening. School parties, public sessions, private parties, typically that doesn't start till like 4 o'clock at the earliest. So if they're done plowing at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then it snows 6 inches between 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock, then we have to pay them to come out an extra time to plow the lot again. So it adds an extra expense. And it's just kind of one of those things that we want to make sure that it's done at the proper timing, like right before stuff comes in. Now today, it's the middle of the afternoon right now on lunch. We don't have anything coming in tonight until 5, but it's not supposed to snow at all. And I have the time right now on my lunch break to plow the rink. And it typically takes me, 10-15 minutes to get most of the stuff off. And then when I do the corners and edges and clean things up, it'll take me another 10 minutes for that. Like if I get it done super fast, it might be 30 minutes total. I don't mind the time. I don't mind putting in the effort. And then on top of that, I get to do it the way I want to do it as well, which is also super important to me. So as a rink owner, there are a lot of different things that I want to take responsibility for. Making sure everything's maintained for our customers, but also I want to be able to show some leadership to my staff. So all of the behind the scenes work, the unseen stuff, the fixing skates, the cleaning bathrooms, the floor maintenance, the property maintenance, keeping up on the parking lot and the plow and salting the parking lot, and making sure everything is safe for our customers when they come in. But the biggest thing is, I want to lead by example. I want my employees to be amazing representations of myself. So as an owner, if I'm expecting the best out of my employees, then I should be leading by example. Now, this is a philosophy that I've had for a long time, especially for my kids, also for my wife. I want to lead by example, and I want to be a hard worker. And this is just one of those ways that I can do that. And for the employee, now our rink hires we have multiple employees. We have a lot of employees, but typically it's not like a profession. An adult's not going to come in and work at a roller rink as a profession. It's a nights and weekends job. It's not a 9-to-5. So it's really good for a second job for adults, or it's really amazing for a first job for teens. We have a teen that's coming in that's never had a job before, and we can teach them what it's like to have a job. It's nights and weekends. It's a very flexible schedule. So we have a lot of teens on staff, And like I said, the adults that we have on staff, it's all their second job. They love roller skating, they love to be a part of the rink, and they want a little extra income as a second job. But as an owner, I want to be able to lead by example. So that means when I'm at the rink and they're closing up for a session, they're closing up for a private party, or they're closing up for a school party, and they have 30 minutes worth of cleanup to do, I'm out there helping them. I'm sweeping the floors, I'm cleaning the toilets, I'm helping restock the snack bar, doing all the things in the back room. It's just one of those things that as a business owner, I take pride in, to be able to show an example to all of my employees. One of the things that the previous rink owner did that I really liked is she was never afraid to step in and help out. And it's just one of the things that I've adopted as we've owned the rink. And again, this is part of it, plowing the lot. It's not real complicated, it's kind of mundane, it takes a little bit of time, but I don't mind it so much. It's just like fixing skates, almost therapeutic, I would say. A little hard to hold a camera and run a plow at the same time, but I think I can handle it. Not super complicated. There was a learning curve. So when I first started when it first started snowing back in, it was November that it snowed this year for the first time. And then I ended up plowing the parking lot like 12 times in December. We got a lot of snow in December, which is, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's all relative when it comes to weather in Michigan. I think last year we didn't have a lot of snow, but this year we had quite a bit of snow. And the other thing that the snow affects and the weather affects is the numbers that come into our rink. So it's Friday. Last night we had adult night, and it was a light night last night, but there was also negative degrees and a blizzard snowstorm. So not very many people were getting out, and we do have a lot of regulars that come to our adult night on Thursday from out of town. Like they're driving half hour, 45 minutes. Some people drive an hour, hour and a half. We even had people come from Chicago and people come from Detroit and Indiana just to come skate our adult night because it's such a good time. So adult night, 8:30 to 11 every Thursday night. So last week we had a special. We had 80s night, and it was amazing. And we had a ton of people show up, and everybody loves that particular special event that we do on adult night every year. We do that 80s party, and everybody dresses up like 80s, and they have all 80s gear, and we play all 80s music, and everybody absolutely loves it. We had a huge turnout last week, but then turn around this week, we have a huge snowstorm. Last week it was a big turnout. This week it wasn't a very big turnout at all. And that's just part of the business. Like the weather in Michigan affects our business directly. So with that, I want to make sure that the parking lot is clear so that when there is weather, everyone's safe when they get in, they have a place to park. Like I said, it's kind of mundane and kind of methodical, but it doesn't take too long, and I don't mind the work. I don't mind putting in the effort. I've been doing this now for maybe 15 minutes and we're almost done. I'll probably clean up the edges a little bit, but it's not real complicated. And as long as my plow truck works, I can get it done pretty quickly. Whew, that is cold. I'm gonna roll that window up. So typically when the snow is pretty light like this, what I've learned over the last 6 weeks of doing this is I can just push it all to this side of the parking lot away from the building, and it does pretty well. It doesn't do bad at all because it doesn't get real thick as I'm pushing it over. But when it gets real thick, I have to plow the lot a little bit differently. And like I said, if anyone's ever plowed before, they kind of know this, but I'm trying to figure out ways when the snow is deep to be more efficient and get it done. And what I found is if I go down one way and then turn the truck around and go back halfway across the middle, kind of like a Zamboni, that works really well when the snow is really heavy, because that way by the time I get to like the middle section here, there's no snow on this side, so all the stuff that I pushed over can just kind of spread out, and then it doesn't get too thick for the plow to push. Because if it's too thick for the plow to push, then it just overflows on the other side. Again, my plow's older. It works great. It's got its finicky moments, but it's not one of these new, you know, $80,000 rigs. It's just an old plow and an old truck, and it gets the job done. So now I got to clear up the edges and the entrance here. Make sure that's all squared away for people to get in and out okay. This takes a little bit of extra time and a little bit of finesse, but all in all, it's not too terribly difficult. A little more difficult holding the camera though, that's for sure. Trying to work around with steering the truck and holding the camera and shifting the truck and putting the plow up and down. It's a little more challenging than I was expecting, but we're getting it done. All right, here we go. Got the entrances all cleaned out. I got the lot all done, nice and clean, ready to go for tonight. It only took me just a few minutes. All right, we got the lot done. It looks nice and clean. It's ready to go. I got some salt that I'm gonna throw down. I like to put salt all up in there for the safety of our customers. The good old plow truck held up really well. I know this episode was a little bit different than normal, just because it's not something that you typically see. You're looking at a roller rink channel and I'm plowing a parking lot. So something a little bit different, but it's something that behind the scenes that you typically wouldn't see. If you like this content, click that like and subscribe button. I release a new video every Saturday. I have lots of videos in the link description below. I have a video on skate maintenance and floor maintenance. I'll put those in the link below if you're interested in that. Check out our website, terryhall.com. Again, Tarry Hall is our website, terryhall.com. You can see all of our private party information, all of our public sessions, our private parties, all that's on there. You can email us at info@terryhall.com for any questions that you have. We also have an online pro shop. I have links in the video description about skates and the pro shop. It's terryhallproshop.com. Check that out. Again, thanks for watching. I know this was a little bit unorthodox for a podcast, but this is one of the things that we have to do. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next week. Oh, it's so cold out.